Everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to talk about Carinthia sleeping bags at your request. Be right back with you. So, welcome back, everybody. Not very far from Christmas. Really bad weather outside. That's why you find me in here. I want to do this on my favorite park bench, which is no longer there. I haven't even been up there in a little while because it's been so busy. But we're going to do this indoors. I do apologize. Really typical Swiss, getting close to Christmas weather outside. It's cold. Cold's not the problem, but the wetness. It's all damp and rainy, and between rainy and snow, and I didn't want to get all my my bags wet. I do apologize. Anyway, Carinthia sleeping bag. Carinthia is a bag that I've known for a very, very long time, more than 20 years here in Switzerland. A quick history of them: they make a civilian line of bags, and they make military bags. Now, Carinthia is an Austrian company, and they do it all themselves. Their bags are not only produced here in Europe, but they're also, the inner part of the bag is also produced here. The Carinthia line is very, very well known for its primary bag, military bag, which is called the Defense 4. The Defense 4 bag is basically the staple bag. It's a synthetic bag, polyester bag with a G-loft inner. Now the G-loft, let me tell you a little bit of history about this, about what happened. Now there are two types of fills you'll find in the back. You'll find down, and there are different qualities of down. You'll find down that's either this really high-end goose from the northern Scandinavian region, northern Canada, this kind of stuff. That's one you'll find, and it's very fine. They use very fine parts of the goose down, so you're getting this hollow-filled natural product. Okay, you'll see less quality downs which are using whole feathers or larger feathers, which tend to pick you and this kind of stuff. You fill them while you'll see them in low end stuff like duvets or in some down sleeping bags. I guess would use them also. I haven't encountered any down bags that did use them. I do remember back in the day, the U.S. Army sleeping bags that were down, they use a less quality, I would say, down that would pop, it would come through the seams, this kind of stuff, because they had cotton liners around them. But you don't see that so much now in the more modern material, especially if you're paying a high-end price for a sleeping bag that's a down bag. I mean, that's something you got to really pay attention to when you're checking out sleeping bags. Check that part out. Is there stuff coming out of it? If it's coming out, why? And the only reason it come out of it is because the plume of the feather they're using is stiff. It's too stiff and it's able to poke through. The finer material won't do that. It'll stay within the beveling of the bag. The second material you'll find are synthetic polyfill bags. Now, 99% of all bags in the world buy their stuff and have it shipped to them. A lot of companies do. I mean, the high-end companies even, and they don't produce their own insulation. Carinthia does. And I'm going to tell you the difference in it. Even if they're using G-loft from Carinthia, which they may or may not have the right to use the name, or if they're using something else, it's all about the production and the shipping. Carinthia makes it in-house, so it goes from in-house in the form it's made in right into the bags. This is a positive thing, and I'll explain to you why. Because if another company, I'm not going to say any names, orders this stuff, they're going to have it shipped to them. Well, guess what? They're not going to have them shipped to them in huge plastic bags with the down in it, or with the polyfill in it. It's going to be laid out into sheets that are compressed with a type of glue that makes them into a board. It's a very lightweight board, makes them into a board, and they're cut and stacked in boxes, and that's shipped to them in these boxes, so they get more. And then what they do is they take it once it arrives, they use a chemical treatment, which basically removes all this glue and allows the material they have to go through a process for the material to have its fluffiness, I would say, afterwards. This cuts into the temperature rating, cuts into a lot of factors within this man-made hollow-filled fiber, actually. And because of that, you're going to get a less quality product. Okay. Carinthia doesn't do that. Carinthia makes it in-house so that they don't go through this process of basically gluing it, compacting it, cutting it, and shipping it that way. So they don't go through all that. This is a top thing with Carinthia. And I tell you, you see it in their bags, okay? The Defense 4, it's a 3-season bag. And nowadays, it comes in loads of colors. In my day, it only came in olive. That's what you see right here. What I paid was a 249 franc 90, which was the Swiss price of this. And we were one of the first companies to import it where I was working at originally. And we used to import them, as many as we could afford at a time. And they sold out so quickly, sometimes we couldn't keep up with it. And a lot of soldiers, and were buying them. And then, of course, there was that civilian side that did not know about, they didn't have a civilian line actually at that time. It was only military bags. They were producing bags for loads of countries like the Dutch, the Belgium, the French are using them now. The Germans are using them now. A lot of countries in Europe were using them. Even the Swiss are using this Carinthia-made bag now. Not the one we're talking about today. A different bag. They're using these bags. So we were getting it into the civilian market. It was basically convincing a client that, listen, color doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be red, green, brown, purple, blue, whatever color you want to work. You're sleeping in it. And so an olive green bag is going to be okay. Because a lot of people had this mentality that, oh, it's military, I can't use it. Yes, you can. Because you'll see more of this color in nature than you will anything. And my argument's with this right here. First of all, you're sleeping in it. You're going to be in it at night. It works. It's a good price, a really good price for the quality of what you're getting, a 3-season bag. It's light in weight. Matter of fact, this bag right here comes in 2 sizes. It comes in 2 lengths. It comes in a 215 centimeter length and a 230 centimeter length. I think at one time it was only it was like 1850, which means the medium was like a little bit taller than I am. I'm 183, 6 foot, and then you had a 2-meter bag. So they've changed that up a bit, and what it's done is give you a little more size, more girth. I would say in the bag, because these bags right here are a little bit tight in the shoulders for me, and the tighter the bag is around your shoulders, around parts of your body, your knees, whatever, that's where the cold's going to come through because it's stretching the material. But it's 1,850 grams, a little bit over a pound for this bag right here, and then a little bit under. A pound is 1.6 kilos, so it's not much more. Probably 1.5 pounds for the 2-meter long one. That's a pretty good deal for a bag. It's going to keep you very, very warm. It's very versatile and very, very comfortable. And like I said, it comes in different colors. Now it comes in olive. It comes in multicam, flecktarn, because the Germans are using it. It's coming in black multicam, which is really cool on the website, and woodland. This bag comes in. And yeah, it's got a front zip. The advantage of the front zip is, and I'll get back to you in a minute what that is that, when I talk about the trooping. So remember, it has a front zip right here. It's a mummy bag, actually. Now, what's very important about this bag besides weight is the temperature rating, okay? Now, in the sleeping bag community, people, some companies are sort of tricking people into believing there's a female sleeping bag and there's a male sleeping bag. No, there isn't. There's one sleeping bag, and what they do is they just give it a female temperature rating and a male temperature rating, because there are 2 different temperature ratings. What they'll do is they'll change the color, give it a more feminine look. They may even make it a little bit smaller. So they're winning here. They're charging you the same amount of money just for a name. So be very wary of that. Get yourself male sleeping bags. Okay, don't go for this female concept of sleeping bag. Believe me, you're just sleeping in it. You're not doing any more. You're not having a fashion show in it. So it doesn't matter the color in the end of the day. What is important is that the weight and the temperature rating. Does it work? For example, this bag right here, the female temperature rating is minus 8.8 degrees Celsius. Now, I haven't done any conversion, so you got to do it yourself. It's easy to Google convert. We need to smarten up on all this kind of stuff. People always complain about the metric system. It's the best system, I promise you. And I grew up in a carpenter family in the United States. It's the best system is a metric system. We never use it over there. We use it here, okay? So minus 8.8 degrees Celsius is the female temperature rating for Defense 4. The male rating is a minus 15 Celsius, okay? And then the extreme rating, we're talking about you're going to survive. It might not be the most comfortable in the world, but you're going to survive. It's at minus 35 degrees Celsius. That makes this bag super versatile. For a 3-season bag, it pushes you over into the winter also. And it really depends on how mild your winters are and this kind of stuff. Now, a lot of things are going to determine this temperature rating also is, and they probably do this temperature rating standing up. Okay, what they do is your body is what's going to warm the inside of this bag. The bag's not going to warm you. It's just going to hold on to your body temperature. So you have to eat properly. You have to have a certain amount of fitness level. Depends on the activities you have, and also depends on how you protect the outside of the bag also. Like I said, the bag is just an insulated level that holds on your temperature rating. Now, you can lose this with several factors. You lose about 30% of your temperature through your head. So if it's really cold, throw a watch cap on or a balaclava, put some gloves on and some nice warm socks, and wear some kind of insulated clothing underneath of it if you find yourself being too cold. I don't suggest you go naked in a sleeping bag, and there's several reasons for that. You want your sleeping bag to last as long as you can, so you want to wear clean clothes inside of it. So it's good to have clothes for sleeping and clothes for activity. So clean yourself up, change your clothes into sleeping clothes, get inside your bag, and that will maintain the life. I have never washed a sleeping bag because the moment you get any of these materials wet, you're going to start losing its level of ability to hold on to your temperature rating. First thing you do in the morning is pull that sleeping bag out, throw it on top of your tent or throw it on some limbs or something or whatever, and let it get, if you have some sun out, okay, and let it get some air, let the sun dry it a bit. You can even turn it inside out and do it that way. You know, in the Army, we call these fart sacks for a reason, because you get inside of them and guess what? You're going to smell them up, okay, with your body. So you need to get it in, turn it inside out, and then get that sucker aired out as much as possible. If you have sun, that's what you want to do. You want to let it breathe and let it get it dry up, because there's a bit of your humidity inside of that. If you're sleeping inside of a tent, you're cutting out some of that barrier from the outside, the wind, this kind of stuff from coming in. There's a difference between the inside. You'll warm the inside of that tent pretty well, even though it doesn't have a whole lot of insulation, but you'll also form condensation. Now, the biggest part, one of the biggest areas you also lose a lot of temperature is from the ground up, and that's where you need something to get you off the ground. I use a Tyvek sheet that I ordered through Amazon. In the States, you can go to your hardware store and get it. Here in Switzerland, it's almost impossible to find them. I have to order them online. I would love to have a roll of that stuff. But I have it. It's white material. It's a building material you find in the States called Tyvek. I have a sheet I ordered through Amazon. I think I paid $4 for the whole thing. And now the prices have gone up because everybody is using it for outdoor stuff now, by the sheet, by the yard or whatever, by the meter you're buying it. But I bought it through Amazon, and I use it, and I've had mine for about 6-7 years, if not longer, and it's still working really well. And I go camping quite often. I clean the ground up. I put it on the top of the ground. And on top of that, I will throw my sleeping pad, which is a thermarest pad. I have it right here. I think you can see it right here, my thermarest. I've had this right here for God knows how many years right here. It works really well. And you can sleep with just that. But what I do after that is I throw on my thermarest air mattress. And it is a compact one. Now, this right here, where that sleeping pad costs $30, this right here costs $300, okay? These are very expensive, these pads. But it's quite lightweight. I've had this for as many years as I've had I've had this right here for longer than 5 or 6 years. I've had this for many, many years. It's been through a lot of events with me, probably 15, if not more, 20 years maybe. But this, the thermarest I've had for maybe 6-7 years, excuse me. Now, there exist also nowadays these thermarest beds, these cots, these foldable cots, which are probably about the same size as this right here. You can fold them up, bring them out. And I've been wanting to try one of those out to see how well that works. Anyway, get you maybe a little bit higher up off the ground, especially if the ground's damp. But because of my Tyvek, I have no humidity coming from the ground up, which it cuts out that humidity. So that cuts out a layer of vapor of wetness, dampness that's coming up. So that with my thermarest sleeping pad and with the sleeping mattress, I am really up off the ground about this much, a good 6 inches, and I am feeling quite comfortable. I've never been uncomfortable sleeping in this way. Matter of fact, this is the way I prefer to sleep. I I've done some, you've seen some of my videos, I've done some hammock camping. I do not like it whatsoever. I've never been comfortable sleeping in a hammock. I never get a good night's sleep, and I just prefer sleeping on the ground. Now, there's some places you can't do that in. You have no choice, but if I have the choice, I'll sleep on the ground. But back to the sleeping bag, okay? Then I'm inside the sleeping bag, and if you're inside of a tent, that's going to be a really good barrier there from wind and rain and all this kind of stuff, and temperature flexes. I sleep quite often under just a tarp. And if it's really, really rainy weather, I'll throw a bivy bag. Now, what a bivy bag is, you have several of them. You have breathable ones and unbreathable ones. I suggest a breathable bag. Now, I've used the ECWC bag from the U.S. Army. I never liked it because it's Gore-Tex all the way around it. And it allows humidity to pass through it after it's been against the ground for a while. So I have an old U.S. Cavalry one I bought back before I had the ECWC one. And it's a Gore-Tex on the top, but it's nylon on the bottom. And that thing has worked well, a fraction of the price. And now I'm also using even lighter weight stuff when I need to. I have a bivy bag from Hilliberg, actually, which is a Swedish company. And they make a really nice one. Actually, you can wear it like a jacket. It has a hood and sleeves on it. But I just throw my bag in it. I tie the end up with a double knot. Oh, not double knot, but a double. I fold it back over itself and tie it again like you would an old school wet weather bag. And I've never been wet inside that. Now, it does hold on to some humidity, and that's what probably you're going to have with any kind of bivy bag. So you have to be aware of that. Now, if you have a whole week of hiking in the rain, and using a bivy bag, you're going to start getting your bag's going to start holding on to humidity, and you're going to have some trouble there. So you need to be able to get a situation where you can allow it to air out like we spoke before. Anyway, the Carinthia bag, Defense 4, fantastic bag. Now, we're going to talk about the Troopin next. The Troopin is its summer bag, the summer sleeping bag. Now, I have one right here. Okay. All right. This is the Troopin bag comes in a compact, so does the Carinthia comes in a compact, a little bit bigger bag, actually. I have several of these. And the Troopin bag is a summer bag, and it has a side zip on it. Not only does it have a side zip, it also has a mosquito net on it. So it's used mostly for warmer weather. Where it comes in handy with having a front zip on the Defense 4 and a side zip on the Trooper is that when you can marry them together, you can slide that Trooper inside your Defense 4 or the other way around. And when you zip it up, you have the baffling on the front of the bag, which protects the front zipper. But on the side bag, you have a baffling there also. So you don't have this ability where air can go right straight through the zippers straight to you. Because the zippers, they're not waterproof on these bags. They're just, they're just regular, good quality YKK zippers, but they're not waterproof, okay? And something else they use with their zippers, they have no snag zippers, which is quite good. The Troopin summer bag, mosquito net on the front, color is the same, so they also make it in a tan color now. Back when I bought mine, I think they were like 169 franc 90. And now these suckers are 229, 230 bucks now. They've really, and this is euros we're talking about. So they've gone up a lot because materials have gone up. And they also use the G-Loft, just like the Defense 4. Matter of fact, G-Loft is throughout the entire Carinthia program except for their Wilderness bag. And they have a Defense 6, I think, or Defense 1. That is a down bag also. Now, quickly finish up on the Troopin here. The Troopin has a medium and long or large lengths, 220 and 230, and weight-wise, the medium is 1.1 kilograms, and the large one is 1.3 kilograms. So it's not even a pound. And with extreme and good cold weather, what you can do is you can marry these sleeping bags up, and so you're going to get another level of protection. So you have a minus 35 extreme Carinthia, and then with the G-Loft, the Troopin, you have a minus 7.9. Now, how this marries up with the calculations, I'm not a professional on that side of it, but I'm sure this throws you up closer to a minus 40, minus 50 degree Celsius, okay? We're getting into from really extreme temperatures here. And then, of course, the typical layering, getting you off the ground, whether you're sleeping inside of a tent or whatever, this is going to add to that level, okay, of and then how you dress on the inside, your nutrition factors, your health factors, all this kind of stuff. So, and also it's very important you get a bag that's lofty. It doesn't fit you perfect. It fits you a bit big. Now, I don't use the Carinthia bags anymore because of my size. I have just gotten bigger when it comes to shoulders and chest and legs, and I'm just a big guy. Muscular wise, I'm quite a big guy. And because of that, it seems to be tight across my shoulders. Now, I haven't tried out any new Carinthia bags. The whole concept of having new colors does interest me. So as somebody who has a bit of a collector, I'm interested in going out, finding a new Carinthia bag, a larger size, trying it out to see how it fits on me. Because if that were to do well, then I would stop using my ECWC system and go back to Carinthia, which I truly like. I love Carinthia bags, actually, and I highly recommend them. Let's go back to the Troopin. The female comfort level is a 9.4 plus 9.4 centigrade, and the male comfort level, which is the comfort level, is a 5.1. So this is around. This is it's not freezing. Okay. You got to remember here that what the temperature ranges are for freezing in Fahrenheit and this kind of stuff. So this is just above freezing here, but it will go down below freezing in extreme situation, minus 7.9. So like I said, if you marry them up together, these right here, you can go to some extreme levels. But when it comes to just normal use, probably a minus 20, minus 25 for comfort level. These things are going to do the job, actually, and they're going to bake the beans anyway. So you can put them together. Now you can also put other type of bags together too, and this is what was developed by Carinthia for the Indian Army. They had a contract that they got with the Indian Army back in the early 2000s, because you got to imagine the Indian Army is fighting up in the Himalayas, the high Himalayas, and I think they ordered around 50,000 bags or something like that from Carinthia. Big contract for Carinthia. But what it was, they went with a system called the ECC, Extreme Cold Climate System. And it came with, and I've seen them. That's over $1,000 worth of bags, actually. You have your main bag, which is a regular, it's a defense system bag, but I think it's the defense 6 actually, which is a down bag. Okay, and then they threw it inside it. They threw that on the inside. On the outside, they put a synthetic bag. Okay, now it was a pretty big system. When you put it all together, you can compact it up. And then they had a Gore-Tex bag on the outside of it, I guess, for some elements of that. But the bag came primarily with two bags, a synthetic bag and a down bag. And what the idea was is that the down bag was up against you. You were warming up that, quite light in weight. That would keep you nice and warm and hold on to your body temperature. And then the synthetic bag, it would pull away all the humidity away from your body. That's why the whole concept of how you dress and how you dress inside the bag is the same way. You know, you use polypropylenes or synthetic materials or merino wool, long johns and socks and gloves and a hat. And that's going to allow the bag to do its job and pull the humidity away from you, put it on the outside of the bag, and then you have another material that can do that, you know. Carinthia also has fleece liners in their bags. By the way, the ECC system, I've never seen it after that. Like I said, we got our hands on a few of them from Carinthia. They sold really well. Some people got them. We tested them up ourselves. Really, really bad. I slept all night in the snow on my terrace up in the mountains. One night, just laid my sleeping pad out. I got on top of that and slept. And that sucker was roasting inside it. Man, it really held on to the body temperatures. It was rated a minus 55 degrees C. Okay. That is extreme rating, okay? And that was his regular rating. That wasn't extreme, that was the regular rating, and they gave it 1 rating, actually, for that bag. So whatever extremes it was, I don't know. I mean, I couldn't imagine it being a minus 70. I couldn't imagine that. I couldn't imagine being in that temperature already, you know? I mean, yeah, it was rated for minus 55 up in the high Himalayas, where it's dry weather, so they can use down. Get back to down in poly and the G-Loft. G-Loft's going to work better for hot, humid climate like we have in Switzerland. We're not in a dry climate like you have in northern Sweden, northern Scandinavia, northern Canada, Alaska, northern Siberia. We don't have that climate, okay? That's a dry, cold climate. We have a more humid climate down here, and I don't recommend, I mean, there's nowhere in the United States, except for Alaska, There's nowhere in the main part of the United States, CONUS, where you're going to need a down bag. There's this, I mean, okay, if you go up on top of some mountain somewhere, yeah, okay, you're getting up into that zone there. But if you're down below, I mean, look, how often do you do that? How often are you on top of mountains? So buy the bag's going to work for you, and use what you can get. Carinthia bags, top bags, okay. Like I said, they have a whole lot of them. I have also a Carinthia here. It's a jungle bag. Okay, this right here is this is the grizzly right here. This is not a jungle, it's the grizzly. This is a fleece bag, actually. It's a light fleece liner you can put inside of it, your bag. What's advantageous right here is for cold weather. If you can put it in there, and it'll also, let's say your dirty clothes, you can wear inside and you can wash it afterwards. Here in Switzerland, they have something, or here in Europe, they have a liner. They call them sac avion. And what it is, basically, it's like a silk liner or whatever you can throw, or cotton liner you can throw inside your sleeping bag. You can sleep inside of it to protect your bag. You do want to protect the inside of the bag as much as possible. Avoid washing them. If you do wash them, soapy water with a sponge. Let it air dry and move on and keep using it. Especially if you're the only one using your bag, you know. And if you're living in it, you know, like I said, if you treat it right, it's going to last forever. I've had these for a very, very long time, and they work great. Matter of fact, everybody in my family, when I was still with my family, my ex-wife and the kids, everybody had Carinthia bags. I had 4 of each, 4 Troopers and 4 Carinthias, Defense 4s for them, because we did a lot of camping, a lot of outdoor stuff, and everybody was always comfortable. Anyway, that's a quick topper from Carinthia. I have my little list. Like I said, there's a jungle bag, which I also have. It's called the Eagle. And it's basically like a heavy-duty poncho liner in the back of a form of a sleeping bag. Very compact. It weighs out at 900 grams, actually, less than a kilo, $140. And yeah, so I'm going to come back with you some more videos. We're going to start working on this a little bit. I've been seeing a lot of people talking about winter bags, camping in the wintertime. I've made some videos previously. You'll see on my channel, but what I'll do is I'll update information, and we'll talk more about best practices, my opinion, and what I use. And we'll talk more about that in the near future. Anyway, quick video on Carinthia bags. This is a shout out to a buddy who's also a YouTuber who asked me that he'd like to know more about Carinthia bags. I hope this gave you a little bit more insight. You can always go to their website, carinthia.eu, and you can see more information about their bags, see prices, this kind of stuff. And yes, you can order them. They are fantastic bags. Highly recommend them. And if you get out there and about and you want a good bag, Carinthia is probably one of the best ways to go, in my opinion. And I've had lots of bags, and we'll talk about that in a later video. Anyway, I appreciate all of you coming out and watching my videos. I appreciate all your subscriptions. Please continue subscribing. Share my videos with your friends and enemies. And like and leave comments down below, because I want to read what you have to say, good and bad. I don't care. You know, I'm here to help. I'm here to learn. I'm here to pass on that information. And I hope I continue getting your support. And I want to thank you. And I hope you all have a Merry Christmas. And I'll talk to you again soon. And take care of yourselves, huh? Goodbye. You see that video camera? This button is not working when I hit this. Why is this happening anyway? The extension of these videos is always funny at the very end. Here we go. I'll turn it off this way manually.